So based on everything that we've learned so far, I want to issue a challenge, just a little exercise to get your hands dirty with the code, to force you to really regurgitate some of the steps that we took in this series of videos to create a really simple ticketing system. A ticketing system might be used for recording issues on a project or that a customer has. So you might have one employee that adds a ticket and then another employee that resolves the ticket or closes the ticket later on. Now in a real ticketing system, you have a lot of like tracking numbers, and you can keep a case history, and you can see open, versus closed tickets and so on. Let me show you what I want here, and then we'll go over the individual requirements. All right, so I'm going to start the application that I've already built that satisfies these requirements for this ticket challenge. And first of all, we're going to log in, because that should be the only way you can actually see the tickets. And we'll log in as bob@devview.com. And we're going to go to the tickets. You notice here I've got a little bonus. You can type in tickets/index, but I've added a bonus where you're actually asked to add just one entry on the toolbar, just to modify the correct file to enable that navigation. All right, here we're going to create a new ticket. A ticket basically just has a name and a description. We'll look at some of the other properties in just a moment. We're going to give it a name. I'm going to call this my ticket. This is my ticket. Okay, and we'll click create. And then you should be able to view details and delete. But here what we want to do is actually be able to then close the ticket, and when you close it, it should no longer show up here in this listing of tickets. All right. So I guess the only other thing to show you is basically the requirements for this. So we want you to create a simple ticketing system using ASP.NET MVC Core. It should allow authenticated users to add or close tickets. You should only display open tickets in the ticket/index. So you notice here, once I edited the ticket and I set it equal to closed, you could not, you don't see it any longer in the list of open tickets, right? So I wanted you to capture, but don't display the username of the user that opens the ticket. So to demonstrate that, I'm going to open up the SQL Server Object Explorer and look at the tickets table and view the data, and you can see here that tickets were opened by a specific user. All right. Now a bonus is, so notice that even though I'm capturing open by, I'm not displaying it anywhere. So I actually, just to give you a hint, I'm editing, making tiny edits to the action result methods in our controller. Okay. You can do it. It's simple. There's just 1 or 2 or 3 lines of code tops per controller action result method. So here's number 5 is just a bonus to add a link to ticket. You saw that in the navigation section. You remember where you would make those kinds of changes, which file you would do it in. And then as a bonus, whenever somebody closes the ticket, go ahead and so they click the edit link and they check the close checkbox and hit save, then it should also record who closed the ticket as well in the database, but you don't display it anywhere. All right. And I give you a list of columns. So all of these are strings except you want to use ticket ID for the primary key, and it's going to be of type integer, and then the closed will be a Boolean, and you can see it's just true or false. All right, and so when closed equals true, you don't display it in the listing page, that index page. All right, so hopefully based on everything you've learned up to this point, assuming you're paying attention, you should be able to do most of the things I ask here, and if not, then you should be able to use some simple logic or maybe a few searches online to figure out some of those bonuses that we certainly didn't talk about. All right, and if you ever get stuck, in the next video I demonstrate the solution to this challenge. You can see how I did what I did, and I kind of explain it and walk through it. If you do want to use that solution video, use it in one of two ways. Either use just enough of it to get unstuck and then continue to struggle along on your own. If you have already solved it but you want to see a different approach, potentially different approach, then watch the video after you've solved the challenge. So good luck. I know you can do it. Nothing that we've talked about is difficult, and the best part about it is that it's going to really cement the relationship between these big things that we've talked about up to this point. Okay, so see you in the next video. Thanks.